Hi, Daughters of May. How you doing? I'm back. It's Riasha. And what I forgot to tell you before we invite Latasha on, I got some Pampers. I gave up on plants, you guys. If it can't be aloe vera, then I'm just not here for it. I do have a cactus left called Stella since last year's pandemic, and she's still going strong, but I mean, cacti don't take much care. And yeah, the aloe vera, I love aloe vera, but I just don't think I had the right setting for it, so Ari didn't survive. But anyway, on to more relevant points. Today we are going to be talking to Latasha. Now, Latasha comes joining us to speak about the immune system, to speak about post-pandemic health, and also about her knowledge of medicinal as well as holistic practice. So we are looking forward to speaking with Latasha today. She's going to come with a lot of knowledge and experience in those fields and just help us to interpret and possibly implement some of these things into our own lives so that we can do the best for optimum bodily function, mental well-being, and just overall health, especially since the climate of the post-pandemic. So without further ado, I'm going to turn down this. Funnily enough, this is called Almond Butter, the song that I'm listening to. So it already speaks about nutrition. It's called Almond Butter by Terrace Martin, I believe. So as I said, welcome to Daughters of May. I want to just touch on COVID a little bit. We've not really addressed COVID-19 too much on Daughters of May, and that is for very specific reasons, because I wanted to keep the focus very on us as people outside of our environment, just as a community, and the things that affect us in general. However, as we're coming to a different phase of the pandemic and potentially nearer to the end of it, I just really wanted to make sure that we were fully equipped and also able to enter maybe some restoration as far as what we've experienced, encountered, lost, gained during this time, and how we can start to really grow and build upon that. So as I was saying, we will touch on COVID quite a lot today. So if that is an area that you just, you've been avoiding, then, you can maybe leave this and come back. But if it's something that you want to, as I said, grow from, build upon, look at how you can improve your bodily function, your mental well-being from the tools that hopefully we'll provide, then do stay with us. So when it comes to COVID, as Black and brown women, especially in the UK, we've been statistically disproportionately affected by the virus. I believe it was Black and Bangladeshi communities that have faced the greatest disparity when it's come to the virus. And there are many reasons for that. We're not going to go into all of them. The papers and the research evidencing the high rates at which throughout the pandemic we've been affected are available online, the ones that I've been referencing, and I'll put them in the comments as well later so that you can reference for yourself and just see what the different factors are as to why it seems that we Black and brown people have been disproportionately affected, and specifically women. Obviously, we're notwithstanding other important factors like mental health, genealogy, childhood, occupation, geography. There's so many reasons, but as I said, Black women and brown women have been disproportionately affected. It's just a fact. So we need to delve into that and then also recognise what we can do for ourselves to better safeguard ourselves going forward, with or without vaccines. This is not a forum to really discuss that's a personal decision, but we definitely hope to support you with your general holistic health. We're also going to touch on things like anemia. We know that, at least based on African American statistics, Hi there, Shelley. How you doing? You'll definitely be able to help us maybe in the comments section with this point I'm about to make. Just regarding African American women are disproportionately more affected by anemia than their white counterparts. That has been proven statistically. I believe the paper is based in 2017. But I will also put the link to that again in the comments section. So things like deficits of vitamin D, for instance, iron, as I've just touched upon, the virus, as I've just touched upon earlier in my introduction. Black and brown people are seeing that they are disproportionately affected by these things. So when we talk to Latasha in about 1 minute, actually, because it's just turned 6 o'clock, we can speak to her and see what ingredients, foods, remedies she might be able to recommend that can maybe work by themselves or side by side with medicine of more kind of, we'll say Western, I guess, practices to really support our whole bodily function and make sure that we are not easy targets for viruses, regardless of whether it's COVID virus or anything else. Hi to you as well. Let me wave back. I haven't done this in so long. There we go. So without further ado, let me send an invitation. Does Riasha remember how to send an invitation though? Okay, let's invite someone to this chat. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We found it. So, as you know, Latasha is an entrepreneur. Has a business called Zion Shots. So what you saw there was me trying to find Latasha when indeed she is Zion Shots on Instagram, but it's all good. So while we wait for her to join, I'll just give you a bit more of a rundown on what she does. Don't forget the cards, obviously. Latasha is a multidisciplined professional within the social care and holistic health sectors, as well as a medical dispensary and a full-time NHS worker. Thank you. And thank you for those of you in the comments that are also NHS workers. And she is a health science degree student. So more than able to speak to us from a place of information, experience, and expertise in those areas. And it's really important to say as well that Latasha is qualified in health and social care. She is qualified in natural medicine and herbalism. She is qualified in aura and chakra healing, which we haven't even got long enough to speak about today, and in weight and nutrition, which I'm sure some of you saw my reel yesterday where I was eating my cake because, yeah, I just felt like it. And I actually felt really queasy afterwards. I think it was just a bit much, but it was good at the time. And back to the point. And she's also a parent to a young son. So she's a very well-rounded, well-informed individual, especially in the areas we hope to discuss today. I think she's had a bit of trouble joining, so I'm just going to invite her a second time and see if we can get her on May We Talk episode 8. So there we go, sending the request. She has joined, she's waving. Okay, so as she gets herself sorted out, oh my goodness, Queen. Let me turn you up. 1 moment. Oh, it's so good to see you. I didn't know if you were having difficulty. Hey, let me turn that down. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm good, thank you. And just on like a very purely shallow basis, I'm going to say you look stunning.
Thank you.
I'm living for the hair, I'm living for the background, I'm living for everything. You're just giving me poetic justice.
Right back at you. Right back
Girl,
at you.
thank you now.
Up. The frills are giving me life right now.
Do you know the funniest thing? I think it was a subconscious thing because I thought, okay, the sun's shining, let me come out of my house clothes because let's be real, I had a house clothes on. It's boiling hot, but that was not appropriate. Hi, King Gold, hi Carol. So I thought, what can I put on? This just let me breathe a little bit. However, I looked at the promo and you have on the same top in the photo for May We Talk. So I was like, oh, that's weird. But
Great
I was
mind.
obviously, I was channeling you. So what I'm going to do, Natasha, is allow you to, I've given a little introduction, well, a long one because you're overqualified. You're brilliantly qualified. But please introduce yourself. I'm going to be looking this way because I'm trying to be on point. I'm going to start a timer. So Natasha, if you'd like to...
No pressure.
No, not for you, for me, to make sure that, because what happens is we get engrossed and then we turn around, it's 9 o'clock. And you and I both know that people of black and brown communities need vitamin D.
Like
So,
yeah.
but we like to talk, but we need vitamin D. There's a possibility we could still get some sunshine. So I'm going to set the timer so that we stay, on task. So yeah, introduce yourself. I'm here.
Okay, I'm Natasha. I am what am I? I am the CEO of my company, Zion Shots. Zion Shots, we specialize in health shots, basically alternative medicines. I am a medical dispenser.
Yes, you are.
And I am actually going through I am suffering with an autoimmune disease myself as to how Zion Shots came about.
Okay. Please, if you're comfortable to share, please do share.
I'm fine with talking with that.
Yeah, how Zion Shots came about.
So Zion Shots, a year and a half ago, I lost my dad to a lung disease called sarcoidosis.
Wow, I'm sorry.
And it was something that he was actually diagnosed at the same age I am at now, which is the age of 36. My dad passed away at the age of 56, very young. I came to find out about 4 months after burying my dad that I actually had the same condition, which, as you can imagine, was very, very scary for me.
Right.
I did see it as a death sentence at the beginning, but obviously friends, family, they all stuck by me, supported me, kept me going, and let me know that obviously it's not that. We're in a day and age where there's so many different things that we can do now, and obviously the upside for me is that I have time on my side where I can obviously implement things to try and reverse this condition. And I literally turned my whole life around. I stopped eating meat. I was a smoker. I stopped smoking, which for me were very big things.
They're major things, just in general, regardless of the condition aside. That is a massive turnaround. Like to stop smoking and give up meat when it's we'll get onto meat later on. Culturally, society-wise, it's something that is very, I don't know what the right word is. People take it very seriously anyway.
I tend to, do you know what? For me now, I've kind of, majority of the time, I have lived a alternative life.
Right. So you're used to people's emotional reactions to you being a bit off the mainstream, a bit alternative.
Yeah, when it comes to like food and stuff like that, I try to not eat. I try to go for the non-meat alternative. When it comes to like things like mince and stuff like that, that was before actually turning. Well, I say vegetarian, not actually vegetarian, pescatarian.
And is this all tied to the condition that you've described?
That's what pushed me to actually go.
It was a personal choice related to that.
Okay. And I one of my really close friends has a company as well. So she obviously supplies sea moss.
Okay, we're going to touch on that later. I know what you're talking. I know who you're talking about and what you're talking about. Yes.
Train, and I literally swear by it like every day without fail.
For those that don't know, because you're touching on some brilliant things, and I want you to continue, and then we'll delve into some other specific questions. But those that don't know, what is CMOS? Because I know.
What
but
is CMOS? So I'm not a CMOS specialist, but I can tell you the most. So
basically, like, what is it?
So CMOS is, what is CMOS? It's from the sea, obviously.
It's from the sea. Yeah,
algae from the sea. Obviously, you know, everybody knows that it contains the 92 minerals of the 102 minerals that your body needs.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's something that I haven't really delved into, to be fair.
But even that, Latasha, that's enough, because that's basically what I wanted to just get out there, that it's an algae, or if it's not an algae, it's definitely a plant from the sea. It has many minerals, and it is used to create a gel like substance, isn't it, that we can use in many different things. But I say it like it's a given, because I use CMOS for due to different reasons, which I'll speak with you about later. And I forget that, you know, that's normal to us now, because we
not a lot of people do
know. Not a lot of people. They'll be like, what
kind of
that? But please continue with
everybody, and everybody, you know, knows everything about it. But so yeah, I found that was really helping me. And then obviously I had to just, you know, work my brain a bit, and for me, I work in pharmaceuticals. And
did you work in pharmaceuticals before going on this new path?
Yes.
Were you already on that path of medicine?
I worked in pharmaceuticals for 8, coming on 9 years.
Amazing.
And I've always, on that as well, I've never really been a tablet person. So
why do you think that is?
I think that is because of what I see every day.
Okay.
And obviously, you know, the background,
the medical dispensary,
the medication that, you know, is being supplied, and, you know, it's not necessarily the fact of the medication, because the medication does help, and it does the job it needs to do.
Right. But I'm glad you said that, because I don't want anyone to think that on the platform we're not endorsing medicine or anything that your doctors prescribed.
No, I see, with me, you know, I'm not a person that's going to sit there and say, you need to have this, you need to go for the herbal alternative, and you need to, they're doing this and they're doing that. I'm not going to do that, because at the end of the day, we also have to respect it. As much as the companies do this money grabbing thing with the medication, which, you know, I think that is out of our control at this moment in time,
and how reliant we are on them, and that's kind of like the only thing we can probably control.
And but my thing is, there are so many side effects that come with this medication that people have no knowledge on. Now, for me, I'm quite lucky to have that knowledge of the side effects that come with this medication, and you know, what kind of I do want to stay clear of, because for me, the be all and end all is self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is key.
Then you can make your informed decision, right?
Exactly.
It's not about saying, yes, we're just going to live herbal life. Yes, which is fine if you want to and it's working for you. And yes, we're just going to listen to the doctor. If that's working to you, also do that. But I think balance in all things is so key. And what you're describing is you have a vast knowledge on both sides, which means you can make those kind of decisions.
Well, that's what, I mean, for me, I knew already, you know, they started talking about treatment, and I knew already what that treatment was going to be. I knew already what medication they would prescribe me. And
just for those that have just joined us, Latasha, because you've just had about 6 people just slide in, so hi everyone. We're talking about the background between Latasha's business with Zion shots. And they said lion, but sorry, that's my Jamaican.
It's all right, my lion
shots, Zion shots, and how she was inspired to look further into holistic medicine based on her own condition that she has. So continue.
So yeah, I didn't want to go down the treatment route, and also I'm still going through that process of trying my hardest not to go down the treatment route. Because for me, with the treatment, the medication that they will put me on, I know that the side effects are going to be, I will put on weight, which is a common
one, isn't it?
Yeah, and for me, you know, that it can cause low mood, depression, you know, there's so many things that come with it. And also as well, with this condition, I know that it can be short term.
Right.
Just the
That's
experience I had.
interesting. Okay. Oh, I see.
So,
The yeah, okay.
so yeah, he went down the treatment route, and
Right.
it went away. Well, supposedly went
So the
away.
effects of the treatment can be short term.
And
Okay, I understand what you mean.
and it came back with a vengeance.
Right.
So yeah, so I've, you know, just tried to just figure out what I could do to, as well, what I could do as an alternative.
Right. And that was the birth of Lion Shots.
Lion Shots. So I started
Amazing.
every day, and yeah, that was it. The rest is history.
Well, what an inspiring but also heartening reason to start your company. I cannot imagine at the beginnings of that, but we really appreciate you even being that personal just to give us the foundations of the company, because I think it really helps people when they know where someone's coming from and the reason and the care behind the service that they offer. Because when I do have business people and entrepreneurs on May We Talk, I'm very clear, like, I do have people approach and say, oh, can I collaborate with you? Which I would love to collaborate with everyone. One, I can't, because I work 6 days a week.
Yeah,
it's not a thing.
I understand.
It's not a thing yet. The amount of preparation that I had to do for today, it's not a thing. But also, I can't just collaborate with businesses for the sake of collaborating with businesses. This is not a sales platform. It's about Black women, brown women, the whole diasporas, women's well-being and their mental health and their physical health. And so if you have a service or a product you're providing, it's really important that on this platform, for me, that's what it's centered around. So I'm so thankful, Latasha, that you shared that with us. Because it's very personal.
You're welcome. It's
so we're going to say that again.
Real life.
It is real life. Let me just welcome Sarah. She's been on May We Talk before. Hi, Sarah. She's waving at us. Jay Gold. Wow, what a blast from the past. Nice to see you, brother. And to see my son more. Right.
I see you more.
That's your friend,
That
right?
is my CMOS supplier.
I feel like I know her from Nottingham. I feel like I do. But
it's not actually from Nottingham. But
oh, it's a different person. Do you know I've got 2 CMOS people on my thing? Okay, fine. It's a different one. Well, CMOS and more, big up yourself. The other CMOS lady that I know from Nottingham, that I recognise your face, that you came on 2 days ago onto the stories. I see you too. So without further ado, let's get into the questions, because my timer says, Latasha, 11 minutes, and we've done really well.
It's all right. There's not no crazy.
There is for me. So, because I will just talk to you all night. Let's have a look. I want to get started with, let me think. Holistic health. I think we'll start there, because we've just kind of set the scene for that. So you've already told us what your route into holistic health was. What was your route into the medicinal side? So why health science? Why NHS? Why medical dispensary?
So medication wasn't my path that I thought I was going to go down. It's not something that I've always wanted to go down. And, you know, it's one of those, it's just where life took me. And
right.
I found myself in that position, and I found it was something that I really enjoyed. And trying not to stay off the question, but
yeah, fine.
I naturally, me and myself, I am a healer.
I did mention earlier that you do healing, chakra and aura healing. So the community that have tuned in, they're aware. It's just we can't fit everything into the talk, but please do share a little on that.
So it's so healing. It's you know, it's got so many different branches that it has lead off onto, and we would literally be here all week.
This is why I've got the time on the top. This is what I'm saying.
All week. But yeah, I just found it was I was really, really drawn to it and really into it. And
right,
you know, I've literally at the age of 36, I have done nearly every job known to man, and I've never been fulfilled. I've never been satisfied. I've never been happy.
I can relate.
And I was really, really comfortable and really happy, you know, just something I just really wanted to learn in, and something that I really wanted to better myself in.
When you just fall into that vocation, but actually it suits you so well.
Yeah. Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I can relate to that.
But I found that, to be honest, more so, at work, I do tend to advise people on the alternative option. You know, people come and they want certain products, and I will inform them on that product
as your job requires. But then there's also you as the human that is also offering the service. It might have insight elsewhere, and if you're qualified, you're qualified.
So I
had a GP say to me, okay, off the record, you can also use this oil. Go to the herbalist shop across the road. That's a GP.
That's me.
So
yeah. All day long. I'm like, you know, I'm literally, you know, next door to where I work, there is greengrocers basically, and I'm like, please go next door. Let's go get a couple of lemons, get a bit of honey, get yourself some ginger, just get these little bits. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, please do.
Just on that point, actually, because that really ties in nicely with the next question. What have been the main health complaints that you've noticed over the past 12 months? Like, obviously COVID, right? But what have been like the top 3 health complaints at the counter on a day-to-day basis?
Top 3 are definitely COVID. COVID. I'd say a lot of people suffering with COVID that are actually, you know, say they have COVID. That would be the main thing. And then people wanting to generally just boost their immune system.
Right, because of their knowledge of COVID being out there, yeah, I'm guessing.
Your immune system has to be strong. Right. And to be honest, as much as I am at high risk, I've been very lucky that I haven't
oh my goodness, well, we'll just touch everything, touching all the wood. I'm not superstitious at all, can you tell?
Touching all the wood, yeah, I'm thankful for that. Wow. And so yeah, I don't know, there's that, and then I find, I don't know, it varies, you know, I can't really say that I
guess the main thing is COVID. I was like thinking maybe there were other things going on, but yeah, that's the main thing right now. I personally, I don't mind sharing, I did have it, I told you already. And I had it really badly. So still kind of finding my way back into my body, if you know what I mean when I say that.
I have been told that it does take a long time.
Yeah.
It does take a long time. You still feel it in yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Even cognitively. And we're going to jump on to things to help boost immune system and cognitive function and all those things, you know, a little later. But yes, it is real, people. So regardless of where you feel you want to get your immune boosting aids and supports and supplements from, please do recognize that your home girl did have it. And we pray that you don't. So moving on, because we've spoken a lot about the C word and it's not my favorite. Post-pandemic health now. Within this climate, how do we nourish our bodies and minds to have them like at optimum function? Like if I was saying to you, this is facts anyway, Latasha, I'm starting a new job. I've told you already, I'm having a life shift. I need to be at my optimum mentally, emotionally, physically. I need one supplement for each. Or one ingredient or one food. Like if you were feeding me like I was your new X-Man project or X-woman project.
Okay, would that be something from what I supply or something that I would personally advise to you?
Any. It can be something off a tree. It can be something that you sell at Zion Shots. It can be something from the shop, whatever.
Okay.
Let's start with for strength, physical strength, I guess.
Physical strength. I would say CMOS.
CMOS, where's the lie?
it seems,
CMOS.
no, and that's in, if for an all-rounder, definitely CMOS. For me,
Fantastic.
I mean, I suffer a lot with fatigue.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm the same as you. I work full time. You know, I have a young son.
Yes.
I'm studying. I need to find my energy and I need to find my strength. So for me, definitely CMOS. If I was
And
going
do
to,
you notice, Latasha, when you don't take it, the
yes,
difference? Because
yes, I do.
the pain is so
It's like
real.
crack.
Listen, I feel like I'm addicted and to something very good, but I'm addicted because I stopped getting my CMOS right through the pandemic. I was like, I don't need it. I'm chilling. I'm not spending £20, £10, ta ta ta. Listen, when I say, because I'm coming from a background of previously, this is when I used to, for those that don't know, I don't eat meat now, but I used to. And I'm not a person to preach to anyone, don't eat meat, don't do da 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 da.
Same.
Eat as you please for what makes you well. But I don't. And when I used to eat meat, in fact, I was anemic. So a lot of people think, you know, maybe it comes from a vegan diet or from a plant-based diet. But for me, I just wasn't having a nutritionally balanced diet and therefore was anemic. And also it can be connected to your genetics. So there's so many things there. Fast forward like 10 years, because I'm in the same age bracket as you. And if you go into the pharmacy, that's also known as bracket D. So I'll leave that with you all. So sad that I know that. But CMOS changed the game. As far as once I'd taken it for about 3 weeks or so, I really felt a shift in my energy, in my mood, in my physical capability. So I think you're right. I don't know how much it's helped me mentally, but I guess if you're feeling well physically, it kind of has a knock-on.
Yes. And yeah, going on to, you know, the mental side of things. For your mental health, it takes a lot of work. Right. People really don't realize, you know, some people might not even realize that they are going through a mental illness or, you know, going through depression. They might not even realize it, that they're going through that. It might just feel normal, just normal everyday life. And this is where, you know, self-knowledge and knowledge of thyself comes into it. It's really important because I've suffered depression myself a long time ago, and I don't think I knew I was going through depression. I did, but I didn't. I don't know if that was just my way of dealing with it. I just thought, well, that's just life at the moment.
When you're in the midst of it as well, I'm sure that that's difficult. And secondly, we have so many more resources now and so much more focus on it, even in the media. Like, look at the Olympics. Black women standing up, and look at tennis. Black women standing up for themselves, saying, no, I don't feel comfortable. Mentally, I'm going through this. I've had a bereavement, XYZ. And just being very transparent about it and standing up for themselves and their mental well-being because they know what to look out for. But previous to that, maybe we weren't empowered to do so, maybe, as well, is my point.
I think it does, you know, for your mental, you have to be able to pull yourself out of it, or, you know, stop it before it happens. For me, I've gone through, I've had times where I felt that I'm going into that depression, and
so you noticed triggers within yourself or different behaviors, right? So that comes from a very very dense knowledge of self.
Yes. So it's I don't know, it comes down to, you know, sleep. It comes down to the food that you're eating. It comes down to your activities throughout the day, the people that you're around, your surroundings, you know. And I find as well, it's important to keep the brain busy.
Right. What do you mean by that?
Keep the brain busy with positive things. So, you know, if you're keeping the brain busy with everything that is negative around you, remember, tomorrow is a new day. And I don't know if people agree with me, but how many times have we gone through something and literally, you know, a day after, 2 days after, everything's all right, and you say to yourself, why did I get so stressed about that? Why did I let that eat me up like that?
It's the anxiety related to something that we don't know and don't have control over yet.
And so many people
never.
with anxiety.
Absolutely.
So many, and to be honest, I could literally safely say probably everybody does.
Listen, you want to see my grounding and deep breath exercises I do before I come on camera? Like, that's just to talk to someone that I've organized, that I'm glad to speak with. You know, I want to speak with you and I know you, but I was still like,
yeah, I'm not a public speaking professional, or I'm not used to that kind of, yes.
But you know, you're a natural, and the joke is, this is where the gag is, I come from performing arts. So but that's why I say that, to say anyone and everyone can have moments of, or diagnosis of, which are the two different things. The moments of anxiety and anxiety inducing situations, and anxiety the disorder, are different things. So I don't want anyone to think I'm minimizing if you have anxiety. But what I'm saying is everybody experiences it, like you've just touched on, to different degrees. It's probably a spectrum. And yeah, speaking of which, question number 5, girl.
Okay.
How do you use, because I really want to like make sure that we've spoken about CMOS and how good that can be for physicality, strength. When you're talking about adjusting, you might have noticed you're going towards that low mood, you're going towards that, what my grandma would say, loginess. Right?
Okay.
That's, or maybe there's stress or anxiety in your environment. What herbs, because I know you do teas, girl, what herbs or teas would you recommend to relieve low mood, stress, anxiety? They're different things, so pick one and just tell us what you think.
So to pick one, I actually do a tea for low mood, and that is it doesn't actually have a name. My ginseng and ginger.
Why ginseng? Why ginger?
So ginseng, it's brilliant. Like you said, you know, we got onto the subject of cognitive.
Yeah.
Cognitive, sorry.
This is me trying to say mental dispensary. Don't worry, it's fine.
So you know, it boosts that. It's great for the brain. It's great for your energy levels, mood. Ginger.
Yeah, because I knew about ginseng because of energy, I believe. I didn't know that it was good for mood, so that's really interesting.
And it's it's brilliant for that. And it's funny because I don't know if anybody's ever tried, anybody on here has actually tried my ginseng and ginger tea. I know a few people on here probably have.
Oh, please drop a line if you have. I've had the turmeric shot, so I haven't had the tea.
But me, I tend to, when I'm actually making my teas, I do make a tea for myself, and I'll just drink it as I'm, you know, making it. But also, I did notice when I was actually testing my teas, because I do test all my products.
Wait, what does someone have to do to be a tea tester? I know that's a later question. But okay, girl.
Be a tea tester. Please.
Yes, I want to be a tea tester.
I really don't mind. I mean, I've always said if I could give my products away for free, I would. But
no, don't worry. I will purchase your services. But back to what you're saying. Sorry.
But I instantly. I found that I took probably 4 sips out of the tea, and I instantly, it was almost like, you know, when you see on a charging level, and you just that's how.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa.
You've made something here. Like, yeah, you've done something here.
Literally, I felt
ginseng.
my whole body just. It was crazy. It was crazy. So. I can safely say I've felt the effects myself. I don't know how anybody else feels. I
can definitely say that when I've had fresh ginger, like there's a sense of vitality. It makes me feel, because of the warmth and the way that it affects maybe like your respiratory system in your chest. Like
my favorite roots.
I know it's for digestion, but actually for me, it makes me feel like I'm breathing deeper.
Everything.
Yeah.
If you was to ask me what my go-to route would be as an all-round, like, it would be ginger.
And that's good for mood as well.
Ginger's great.
Ginger's great
for everything. Ginger is great.
I'm done. Everything. I was trying to be cute, but I'm done.
Literally, it literally is. If you know, if there's one thing you're supposed to have in your fridge, it's at least one piece of ginger in it. As that, that go-to, definitely that go-to for me. It is definitely an all-rounder. Definitely.
Okay, so quite like sea moss, the properties are there to like boost your, I know it's good for digestion, so boost your mood also, you were saying.
Inflammation, it's brilliant for that. It's really good for that, you know, coughs, colds.
I knew about the coughs and colds.
It's great stuff.
Wonderful. So moving on, you've kind of already touched on this one, so I was just going to ask you about, now that we're maybe not working from home, we're being more social, we're going on our commutes, what would boost that energy? But you've literally just told us with the same thing that boosts our mood and our physical functionality might also do the same for our energy levels, which would be ginseng, which would be ginger, which would be sea moss. So they're really good. Earlier, you spoke about sleep. And the reason why we were relating on that was to do with the condition that you described that you have personally, both of our experiences with anemia and how a lot of Black women have low iron or some types of deficiencies in those areas.
Anemia, sorry.
Anemia. Anemia.
Anemia.
Anemia. Why are you getting me laughing like this? Like ugly laughing? Like really?
You bringing it out of me.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. People say I have that effect though, you know, because me and my girl from Controversial Curls were just cracking up. We're like, okay, we're actually on an IG live. Yeah, same. Anemia. So yes, anemia. We were both talking about that and the effects on our sleep. Why is sleep so key? Why is it so important to our whole holistic well-being?
So sleep, you know, it's our reset time. It's the body's reset time. It's the mind's reset time. You know, it needs to rest. The brain, the body needs to rest and reset. Simple as that. It's as
so it's that healing time where our bodies actually try and do the job that they're made for, I'm guessing. Okay, so when we don't have that sleep and yet we're still suffering all of the fatigue, maybe even insomnia, all those things, how can we make sure that we prepare ourselves for optimum rest? And I say that meaning, for example, they say, don't use your phone an hour before bedtime. Maybe listen to something soothing. If that's not for you, then, you know, there's other different methods that you can use. When it comes to your nutrition and when it comes to your supplements, that can be tea as well, what would you advise for aiding with sleep?
So I would advise a tea, and like you say, a good wind down routine. So, you know, for me, I find reading is, you know, it's good to get me to sleep, because I am a person that I can get sucked down, you know, the social media rabbit hole of, you know, with probably like TikToks and stuff like that.
It's too much. It's too stimulating.
For an hour and not realise that I've actually for an hour, you know, and I'd just be there just watching things that are funny, informative, like, you know, it's so easy to get like that. And then, you know, it really isn't good to do that, because it's easy to sit in bed and obviously do that. And, you know, I've got a bad habit of the television on in the background.
See, I don't have that, because that's the one thing I'm like, not in my bedroom. But then the phone is the same anyway, so yeah.
My thing, me personally, with that, I do find, for me, people might think this is going to sound so crazy, but
I know what you're going to say.
You know what I'm going to say. So I have to have that background. I
knew you were going to say that. You want to hear voices?
My spirit goes so deep into things that I you know, when there's just nothing, and it's just calm and it's dark, my meditation like state comes in, and
you start creating your own things.
out there connecting with all sorts, and I just
Okay.
like,
Okay, because that goes back to your other side of your practice, which is that if people weren't here at the beginning, we ain't crazy, y'all. Just talking about she's a healer who's also into auras and chakras and all of that. So for Latasha, she's not just talking about hearing voices, y'all. Calm down. That's why she feels that way. For me, I tried ASMR. Someone recommended it to me. I was actually doing Shakespeare, darling. I was doing Shakespeare. And when I study, I'm really, really studious, like whether it's my academia or whatever I'm interested in, I just go in and it's a little bit intense.
Oh, that's one of my guilty pleasures.
This is the thing. If I'm going to design my website, why is Riasha doing it at 1 o'clock in the morning and can't stop until it's finished? So they're the things, like I'll just get gripped by something. And so she, this colleague of mine recommended ASMR. But for me, when I put on the speaking and the whispering, I was like, no, because my imagination's way too wild for that. And it was just making me feel scared. However, the strange thing for me is I like the sound of an air conditioner.
Oh, okay.
Go figure.
I don't know what I found it. I don't know. I think see, my thing is like the food. So it's when people like crunching
when they're eating the food. Wow, you really are a nutritionist, because
like mixing things and like crunching stuff and just I don't know. It's
my goodness. Well, it's in line with your profession, so it makes sense. It makes sense. Oh, my sister's waving. Hi, you came at a good time. Hi there. And hi, Enchanted Essie. Thank you for promoting this as well. So moving on, because you are just tickling me too much. Oh my goodness. Let's just gather ourselves. So everyone, we've been talking about holistic health with Latasha, those of you that have just joined. We're going to move on shortly. We've also spoken a little bit about her background in Zion shots and also her health personally. We're going to move on a little bit, kind of full circle in a way, talking about those symptoms that were connected with COVID that you've seen as a mental dispensary. Brain fog, depression. These things have seen to be connected as the after effects of COVID. I myself can say, I handed in my final assignment 2 days into having it, and I've never been I couldn't proofread. Thank you. I was in glasses, I was in the dark, I had the blinds down, I had to turn the brightness all the way down on the computer. I couldn't read it back to myself, so I was kind of just like hoping for the best. I don't know what it said. It did well, strangely enough. Second highest grade. Don't know how, because I don't know what it said. But brain fog is real. How can we help ourselves with the things that we eat, the times that we eat? Like, what would you recommend?
So when it comes to things like that, it's more I mean, feel good foods. Feel good.
Like my cake yesterday, or no?
Not the cake. Well, in you can
in moderation.
In moderation, yeah.
Okay, good. I didn't have cake every day. Okay.
Yeah, in moderation. Okay. I mean, everything in life in general, in everything, it does go back to self-knowledge and yourself, and knowing what's too much of this and what's for yourself. What's good for you is not necessarily good for me.
That's right. Because some people swear on. I said earlier, in a couple of weeks ago, when I was speaking about having you on the forum, coffee. Now, I've only just started drinking coffee seriously, like daily, even though I'm against it. And me personally, I'm not here for the caffeine, because I know what it does to me usually. I'm already quite a vibrant character, guys. I don't know if you've noticed. I also know what it can do for inducing anxiety in people who may already have it. No lying.
It's definitely a trigger.
However, I've also seen it work on the opposite for people that don't have those triggers, and like maybe they work out quite intensively and they're quite physical, and they have that as a boost in the morning, and that's them for the day. They don't have any more. So I don't know if it's the best thing for me. So I really really understand where you're coming from when you say you have to know yourself. You have to know how these supplements are going to affect you, because how one thing affects someone will not affect you in the same way. Exactly. So take what we're saying with a pinch of salt, basically.
So,
but you're going to say
information sharing is brilliant, and it's good for learning. You know, it's sometimes somebody can mention something and you be like, oh, maybe I should just try that. And it might work wonders for you, but that person's actually telling you didn't actually work for me.
Right.
We have to be careful, and when I say information sharing, we have to be careful not to preach to people.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I say, you know, what works for you necessarily doesn't work for me, but what doesn't work for me might necessarily work for you.
Yes.
So, you know, it's you must be open to try things, and not shut things out. I find that, like you say, when we're saying with coffee, coffee, I can't function without coffee. Well, I feel that I can't function without
Let me just say, for those that have just joined, including my sister, the reason Latasha might have that issue is because Latasha is a multidisciplined professional within social care. She's an NHS worker. She's also studying for a health science degree. She's also a holistic health practitioner, including chakra and aura healing, a qualified weighted nutritionist, and a parent. So I'm just giving you some background as to why she's saying coffee is quite important to her, so that we can have a judgment-free zone, people. But not really to justify.
I am literally one of those, though. I do need a coffee, but then I think that's more part of my personal routine.
Right. Someone's just said you're a superwoman, by the way. Yes, shout out to all the parents out there.
So I literally, it is, I know that I shouldn't be drinking it as well, because it's not good for my health at all.
Right, for you personally.
And it's yeah, I shouldn't be drinking it, but I know that my mental state needs it. Like I say, for my personal routine, it keeps me going throughout the day,
because you know that once you have your coffee, you're going to do this, then you're going to do that,
it keeps me ready to go.
I understand.
I find that I do actually, like with my coffee, it lasts me throughout the whole day.
That's some cold coffee.
I have mastered the art of cold coffee.
Whereas I don't like it, so I actually drink it really quickly through a straw.
Okay. Literally, I don't know. It's just one of those. I think my mind just blocks it out. But yeah, I am trying to wean myself off it.
Right. It does help though. Like when I've had green tea, when I've had coffee, and I've got like an essay to write or some serious reading to do, because I have the tendency to be like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Yeah. It kind of focuses me again. I don't know why or how, but it does help me cognitively for sure.
So yeah, so I'm sorry, steer it back onto the
no, it's fine.
I was asking with foods to help with obviously sleep. The reason that behind me saying feel good foods is because I've experienced myself that if I'm eating something and I'm not satisfied, or
do you mean you're not full, or you don't like the taste?
Not that I'm not full, it's just the fact of just satisfaction.
Right.
So whether it be that you feel that you're not full, whether it be that you feel that it's not what you wanted to taste.
Okay. So you had a rice cake instead of having, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
harder bread.
It's all like it's not necessarily mind control, but you also have to it's balance again comes into it. And you know, if you are on a diet or you're trying to obviously eat healthier, you know, I won't advise you eating chocolate all evening before going to bed, because it's not going to make you feel good. It'll make you feel good at the time.
Yes.
But once you've had it, now you're sat in bed mad because you've had all that chocolate, and now you're just stressing about, oh my gosh, I'm going to put all this weight on. Oh, why have I done that?
Also, the sugar is sending your
and that
yeah, your sugar rate all the way up here before you go to sleep, getting you ready to do something exciting, but actually your body's needing to rest, so you're giving yourself the opposite thing. But then on the flip side of that, they do say dark chocolate can increase good mood, right?
Dark chocolate,
but maybe not at night time.
I can give you some, so like salmon, mushrooms, chicken, grapes. I find a personal one for me is grapes.
What are these good for, sorry?
So these are like your mood boosting type foods.
Right, okay. And then for sleep?
Foods. So sleep, there's not really,
it's more the tea.
It's more tea.
Okay, and then for the brain function, you were saying for you personally, it's more the routine of what does your morning look like? It's more like having a routine than it is a specific thing to eat.
When it comes to like brain fog, I find it's not really, it's more, how can I explain it? There are things that you can have to help with brain function,
right?
But also, it's hard without going into
the science.
Yeah,
I can see your scientific mind trying to like put it into layman's terms for me.
It's you do have to keep. How can I explain it? It does go back to, you know, self-knowledge of what works for you. Routine is key. You
like
know,
you were saying, having a winding down
you've
routine
got
for yourself. Yours won't be the same as mine. And so for brain fog, you're saying that whatever you implement, whether that's for me, I'm like, do you know what? I shouldn't really be having coffee because I know what it does to me. But at the same time, while I'm suffering from brain fog, it's actually very much making me focus when I've got to do what I've got to do for my job.
That's where the balance is.
Right, the balance and the self-knowledge that we were talking about. And this is holistic health, guys. So guys and ladies and all the pronouns.
You know, we are more capable of it than we know, to be honest.
But we're so used to being fed information, isn't it?
Yeah, I call it, you know, we are in a McDonald's generation where everybody, you know, nobody wants to put the work in anymore. Everybody wants it given to them, you know, there, now, right away, you know.
And if you take a supplement, it's going to take time to work, if it's natural, especially, isn't it?
And I'm glad you mentioned that as well, actually, because people have to understand with herbs, you know, they don't work instantly like that. But that's with most things. They take time. Sometimes it just depends on your body as well. Everybody is different. Something that works for somebody might not work for them straight away, but might work for you straight away.
Yes.
You know, so you do have to be patient with things and give things time. It's like, you know, weight loss. It's like when you know you're quitting smoking. Everything is, you have to set your body and your mind up for it. You have to be ready to. So
it's here first.
Yeah.
And it's also visualizing it. I mean, we're going off topic, but it's the visualization. This is what I mean about this is why the timer. And speaking of which, we've gone over.
Well,
are you still good?
I've got my son like literally, he's peeping at the door like.
Yeah, let's wrap it up in 2 minutes. He's like, I'm gonna come on camera, mummy. I'm gonna mess up your whole situation, mummy. Oh my gosh. Yes, everyone, as I was saying before, not only is Natasha a thriving entrepreneur, medical dispensary, right? Student of health science, she's also a mother, so we've got to keep on task here. So I'm going to move on. We're going to move on so that we can come to a close. And obviously, you know, if you want to DM me, if you want to get in touch with Zion Shots, we'll put all of our links at the bottom afterwards, so you can definitely, if you have any pressing questions that we haven't covered, as far as energy, immune system, deficiencies. I mean, it's just, there's such massive subjects. It's very difficult for us to cover it all.
Definitely have to do part 2, Rayasha.
Oh girl, I thought you'd never ask. I'm here for it. I'm here for it for sure, for sure. I'm gonna end with looping back to immune system. Let me see. Top 3 home ingredients to boost immune system. Yes, top 3. So if it's whether it's like a antibiotic kind of quality to it or property to it or just.
So I'm going to give you ginger, as we all know.
Ginger,
black seed oil, and
and lemon. Not lime, lemon.
Lemon. So okay,
lemon.
right. So you gave me 3 choices. So if I had 4,
I'm just checking.
If I had 4, I probably would have added lime to it. Lime is one of my favorites, but
I love how you speak about food. You said ginger is the best.
I took it like,
and lime is your favorite.
But the lemon, it's great as an antibacterial. So that is an all-rounder. And it's funny because just as an example, I had a lady contact me and she was like, oh my gosh, my son's just ate some raw chicken. I don't know what to do. My 3-year-old's just ate some raw chicken. And I was like, okay, don't panic. How much has he eaten? And it was literally just a tiny bit. And I said, okay, don't panic, but be prepared. He's going to have the runs and he will probably have bellyache. Obviously, I had to advise, ring 111 if you are feeling, if you just don't know what to do, and you want a second opinion, because I am not a GP.
We have said this is not a clinical platform. You are medical. You are qualified and trained as a medical dispensary. You are studying health science, and you are experienced in health and social care. Don't worry, we've got all our disclaimers out there. I am not a clinician or a psychologist. I have a HND in psychology development and special educational needs. Okay, disclaimers, all good.
So yeah, and I one of the key things are lemon is a great antibacterial. So if anything's going to clear out an infection or fungal, it would be that. So I just told her to give him some lemon and drink some lemon water, and it works brilliantly for him. And
I have to
had it in the house.
And she had it in the house. And I think on that note, we will call it a day, but I will say, we have the main message of what we've been talking about, I think, has been balance. Don't know why I went Brummy there, but balance. But I can say for myself personally, as I said, I did have COVID very, very badly, and I did order Zion shots. I didn't order them because I had COVID. It just so happened I'd already put the order in, then I got unwell. Yeah, so I think that's what happened, because the brain fog around that situation, again, is very real. I only managed 3 though, because at some point I lost complete appetite of fluids and food. But I know that the turmeric and the orange, I think it was, did seem to make me feel better for like an hour. But I will say that we did discuss the longevity of taking things, and because I was in a position where I wasn't able to be consistent because I was already unwell, the boosting, I'm guessing, would have come from taking those beforehand so that my body's already in an optimum condition. Is that right?
Prevention is key. Prevention is key, and this is,
you can't sprinkle turmeric on a wound, guys. You need to have had it before.
That's it. And no, that's it. Not to hold you up or anything, but it's true. Prevention is key, and and you've got to persevere.
Yes,
you've got to persevere. We have to be celebrating, and I did mention that. I mentioned, I don't know if Sarah's still on here, but I did mention this when I spoke to Sarah the other day, and we have to be celebrating life more. We have to. There's just so much negativity around us nowadays. I just found myself, you know, when was the last time, you know, we went to a wedding? When was the last time we went to a blessing? When was the last time we experienced these things? But I could tell you I've probably been to about 10 funerals in the space of this pandemic. So,
and grief has an effect on your immune system. I remember reading that actually in an article.
You know, they say grief affects the lungs. And, you know, it's literally, like I said, I have to bury my dad, which I did not take well at all.
Of course not.
That I was diagnosed with this condition, so it's
wow.
It's crazy. But yeah,
we've gone some places. As I said, we're going to wrap up because we're going to have to do part 2. I've said this to a few people, but it's so funny because, like I said, lots of people are always like, can I come on? Like, one, I don't take it lightly. Like, you know, the conversations that we've had, it's so that I can make sure that the platform gets brilliant information, wonderful guests, but the time to actually put into create these conversations, a lot's happening in the background. And so, you know, and then we have this conversation, we're like, right, we're going to make it this long. And of course we're going to go over because we're both so passionate. So we definitely have to have you back. We have to.
Yeah, even with me, I am... I can really steer off topic, and because, you know, I go so in depth into things.
But we like that explanation.
I feel like I haven't really answered the questions.
You have.
But, you know, it's just this. It's so bigger than just that.
Yes.
You know, it's so. Yeah, maybe
we've got
to part 3. I don't know.
Part 2 and 3. We've got to meet again. And also, as I said, as we close, you can contact us. We are not medical professionals or clinically trained. However, we do have experience, insight, and qualifications in related subjects. Zion shots will be tagged and pinned. I have actually had some conversations in DMs from people within the Daughters of May community that wanted some advice on how to support themselves with pre-diabetes, which affects the Black community massively, with fibroids, which affects women massively.
For that,
you have a shot for that, girl, with endometriosis. So there's all these things that I wasn't even able to touch on just because, like you say, the subject's so big. So if you have any specific questions you feel comfortable sharing, please DM me, DM Latasha at Zion Shots, not Lion Shots, Zion Shots. And if we can't answer because we are not qualified to answer, we will signpost you to those that are. And if we are able to offer something, like I said, Zion Shots has got very amazing tinctures, teas, and as you can see, run by a very informed person. So do get in touch. But thank you. Thank you, Latasha.
Thank you for having me on. Also, I'd like to say, I like you just saying, we are available for obviously any questions or anything. People, please feel free to message me, contact me, to ask anything. It doesn't even have to be medically related. You know, even if it's just to speak on anything, everything, you know, is confidential. I don't judge, and we are all human, and we all are going through things. So, you know, I am here.
Yes.
I might not be there as quickly
because you live in real life.
A plethora of things going on in my life.
No, thank you for putting that there, and please do send me all of your I think I've got all of your platform links, but just in case, please do send them to me, Latasha, and I'll make sure that they are in the caption and pinned to the top so everyone can reach you and know how to do that. All right.
Brilliant.
Thank you, girl. We will talk again offline.
Yes.
And hopefully on the platform again when we're next on. Okay.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really enjoyed it. I'm
glad. Go and get your child that's trying to come sabotage your IG live.
Back tomorrow.
Oh, bless. Well, take care, my dear.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Right,
see you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much again for Latasha for joining us for May We Talk series episode 8. Imagine that. We did go over time, but as we said, the subjects are just too vast to make it that short. And thank you for everyone that stuck with us. Just to reel you off would be would be here all day, and I'm so happy to say that. But hello, Shelley Dimple. Hello, Laura Jane. Hello, King Golds, Carol, CMOS and More, RJE Records, Sarah from Acupuncture Elliott, my sis, Shay Organics in the house. Wow, thank you. We had you on a previous episode. Roots Organic shop in Radford. I actually need to go there. And Kinder Creations, who do amazing, beautiful jewelry online. So please check them out as well. Just a shameless plug because she's my cousin. And Bluntisham, thank you for joining us. So May We Talk episode 8 has been all about the immune system, nutrition, post-COVID health, and how to boost our energy. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and we'll be back again. If you weren't able to join us from the beginning, then don't worry. I will do my best to save this right now. You know, I get nervous when I have to save it. Hopefully Instagram will play along and it will be on the grid for you to view. So take care, enjoy what's left of the sunset, and have a lovely week. Bye.